Do you ever hear a voice in your head that tells you to just give up? To stop trying to be special? To just be happy in your little corner of the world? To stop trying? That voice in our head that tries to protect us from shame by being like everybody else. That voice in our head that tries to keep us from pain by keeping our expectations low. That's what we call the inner critic. Now, in this module, I'll be talking about the inner critic, giving some examples of how it manifests itself and different methods that we've seen over the years and from study that help develop a better relationship with that inner critic in our heads. The first manifestation of the inner critic that I'll talk about is how dare you. How dare you attempt to change Nigeria? Who are you to want to be the best in your field? The second manifestation of the inner critic that I'll talk about is you are going to fail. That's that voice in your head that looks at your goal and compares that to where you are and makes you feel so small, so insignificant, and basically discourages you from even attempting to reach that goal. The third manifestation is what I term "this is a disaster." That's the voice that starts getting louder anytime you face a setback in pursuit of your goal. You're trying to start something like Wakose, and a host that you've been banking on decides that they can no longer host you. At that point, you start hearing voices that this is a disaster voice that says, you see, I told you you shouldn't have attempted this. This is the end. Stop everything, go back home. The fourth voice that I'll talk about is which one are you? That's that voice that tries to tie you to a particular role. So if you've always been known as the good boy that loves his parents, and then you decide that instead of going to the college close to your home, you want to travel far, maybe even overseas, there's that voice that says, hey, are you that good child, or are you the guy that wants to go on adventures, see different places? The fifth manifestation of the inner critic is you are obviously a failure. This is the voice that tries to tie an event of failure to an identity of being a failure. That's that voice that if you fail to live up to your own expectation or expectation of others, it tries to label you a failure. You're trying to work towards getting a scholarship, you take the tests and you don't make the cutoff point. Then that voice tells you that you are not smart, you're not good enough, that you are not worthy of the goal you're pursuing. Another manifestation of the inner critic is what I call people will stop loving you. That's very similar to which one are you, in that it tries to explain that the reason people love you is because of a particular role you play. So if you've always been one that's quiet and you decide to go into a field like public speaking, then that voice tells you people love you when you were quiet. Now that you talk more, people will stop loving you. Another one that's very, very common, and I'm sure many of you can identify with, is the voice that says not yet. That voice always tells us that it's not the perfect time to launch, to pursue a goal. It tells us that we need to wait till something miraculous happens before pursuing a goal. The last one is what I term you are too. That's that voice that tells us that we are too financially limited to make any significant difference. That we are too plain looking to be a model. That we are not good enough, or that we need more of something to pursue a certain goal.